Hearing the Truth by Thich Bao Thanh. There are mornings when, as we open the door and look out into the garden, a drop of dew resting on the tip of a blade of grass stirs in us a vague, wordless emotion. That tiny droplet, fragile, delicate, crystal clear, can disappear into emptiness with just a soft touch of sunlight. The human heart is the same. A single sentence, if it touches the tender place inside us, can scatter our peace for an entire day. A truthful word, even when spoken with kindness, may become a misplaced arrow in the heart of someone filled with anger or clinging. We think we are strong. We think we are wise. We think we are unshaken by what others say. And yet, just one comment that displeases us and our mind is instantly in turmoil. Watching dew vanish when the sun lifts its veil of clouds, we finally understand our heart is not yet vast enough to receive truth, not yet bright enough to distinguish genuine goodwill from our own delusions.
Truth never hurts us, only our fragile ego does.
Someone who brings truth to us does not come to judge or criticize. They come to open a door so that light may enter. Yet, when our mind is stained with anger or suspicion, we see them as someone arriving at our door with a knife. Truth is never at fault. Just as light never intends to hurt the eyes, it is simply that our eyes are not yet accustomed to brightness. In life, we often hear gossip before we see the nature of things. We hear tone more than we hear meaning. We see our emotional reaction more than we see the speaker's intention. We trust our confused mind rather than examine ourselves. Sometimes someone offers feedback with a heart full of love, but fear and pride rise up like walls and we quickly conclude, they're trying to hurt me. In truth, the one who hurts us most is ourselves when we refuse to look into the origins of our discomfort. A truthful sentence may be a bitter medicine, but it is also a remedy that saves us. If we can open our hearts, that same sentence can turn into a drop of honey, guiding us gently out of long-held ignorance. One afternoon, as we sit quietly under the porch, we feel the May wind slip through the leaves. That wind is soft, like an old friend returning, not hurried, not loud, just gently embracing the garden, leaving behind a rare sense of peace. If our hearts could be like the May wind, able to listen, to be calm, to move freely among praise and blame, truth and error, then for 100 years we would remain in harmony. Wind does not choose the leaves. It simply passes through, leaving coolness behind. To listen is not to react, but to understand. To understand is not to win, but to love. Truth is like a distant moon. Its light shines on every dark place on earth, yet never once has it burned anyone. The moon simply illuminates those who still can see it. Those who are restless cover their eyes. We must ask ourselves, when someone speaks the truth to me, am I angry at them, or at the darkness within me that has been revealed? If we dare face this question, that is already the beginning of wisdom. A human life, if blessed, it includes parents, grandparents, siblings, friends, teachers, and fellow practitioners, those who walk with us through joy and sorrow, affection and frustration. Often the truth they speak comes from their wish to keep us from losing our way. But our ego easily interferes, closing the door and rejecting the very words overflowing with goodwill. Truth is not a whip. Truth is a hand. If we open the door, we receive a warm hand to hold. If we close it, that hand touches only the wind before quietly withdrawing. Sometimes we grow angry so quickly that we fail to see the love behind someone's words. Sometimes we fear being hurt and lose the chance to understand ourselves better. Sometimes we become so used to sweet words that we cannot bear a single honest sentence, even if that sentence exists precisely for our benefit.
Life is not long.
while conditions still allow people who care about us to remain in our world. Let us not reject truth, nor turn away from those who speak it. For those who dare speak honestly to us are the ones who still love us. In each meditation session, we learn to look deeply into the roots of our emotions, not at the person who spoke, but at the mind that reacts. Because every wave of anger begins from within. If we feel discomfort, we must ask, why? If we feel pain, we must ask, from where does it arise? If we feel defensive, we must ask, what part of my ego is being touched? When we are brave enough to look deeply, truth no longer appears to be an enemy. When we are spacious enough to receive it, fear dissolves. When we have enough wisdom to listen with the heart, we will see. Truth, even bare and simple, is like the full moon. It does not burn, it illuminates. When the one who speaks truth and the one who receives it both let go of pride and hold hands to look together at what is mistaken, then the full moon of understanding and love will rise. The human heart gradually brightens like the moon emerging from behind thick clouds. If in this life we hear only pleasant words, we grow like a plant watered only with sweetness, tall but without deep roots. If we learn to welcome truth, we become a tree that may sway in strong winds, but does not fall. Truth never takes anything from us. It only removes what is false. What remains is a person more stable, more lucid, more gentle. Therefore, when the winds of life blow, when someone enters our life only to tell us one honest sentence, even if it shakes us, let us breathe softly and smile. Thank you for illuminating the darkness within me. And when we dare open the door of the heart to let the light in, the full moon within us will naturally rise, even if the sky outside is still covered with clouds.
The heart is like a drop of morning dew. Touched by sunlight, it melts away. A single truthful word released breaks inside a fragile chest, cold along this human fate. The word was never a blade, only a beam of light searching for death. But we startle, we ache, for our little ego still craves praise. Without examining the root of sorrow, we turn whispers into mountains. A gentle piece of advice becomes a storm, choking our heart. One who speaks with sincerity is opening the door to our inner night. Yet we, like lost children in a current, fear what reveals us, fear seeing ourselves. If the heart were as wide as dawn, 100 truths would feel like tenderness, like the soft May wind passing through countless leaves, cooling the forest. Truth is a clear moonlight, it burns no one, it only seeks to guide. But we fear shadows and fear love. Thus see in moonlight a sorrow beside dear parents, grandparents, friends, teachers, fellow practitioners. While conditions remain, do not close the ancient door of your heart. Often fearing true feeling, we cover our eyes and darken ourselves. Often words of compassion, feel like fire, feel like grief. Look deeply to see swiftly, hold each other with full moon sincerity. Once mistakes are understood, a clear moon rises between our hands. The heart is like the first dewdrop, receiving true sunlight, revealing the wondrous truth. Neither murky nor pale is a mirror showing us back to ourselves. One who listens with only half a heart, lets truth drift away like wind. One who listens with bitterness turns innocent words into storms. A life lived with an open heart, hears truth as gently as a sutra. A life lived with inner clarity sees a peaceful moon amid 1,000 dark nights. Having heard, we understand ourselves more. The one who loves us most is the one who speaks plainly. Once the heart opens, even once, even truth becomes a flower.